Good morning, pre-gamers. TGIF. It is Friday, July 23rd, 6:25 Mountain Time, 8:25 Eastern. This is a sound and visual check. We will get started officially in 5 minutes. Sip your coffee and let me know if stuff is working. I like that, Daniel. Love it. Tell Alexa to do that for you. And everyone that volunteered to be a mod from the TCG community, I appreciate you all natural. Naresh. I really appreciate the modding from Judd, all the various people that have stepped up to help. I appreciate it. Stuff is working good. Okay. Yep, I muted myself. I didn't think you want to hear me slurp on coffee. I know y'all like me sometimes, but y'all don't like me that much. Hi, Henry, Tamazon, Bobby, Ronnie, Daniel, Chuck, Night Truck, Mr. Chad Bad Brian, Sue, good morning, good morning. Hey, Mohammed, Aaron, how are y'all doing? We're not officially starting, so I can just chit chat with my friends. It's pretty interesting to see the views on these videos. Well, first of all, it's free, so that should get a lot of views if it's kind of helpful. But it's interesting. Yesterday, our viewership has been dropping every day this week. Monday was the highest day we've ever had. Why? Because fear in the market. Market was dumping, everybody was scared, and every day it's decreased, and yesterday was the lowest it's been in a month. That is complacency, where people are getting more comfortable. Market's going up, they're not scared, they don't feel like they have to tune in. It's pretty cool dynamic. Oh, you're cute, Bob King. LSH Trading. Hey, Luke, I didn't know that was you. Hey, Bobo, David, baby, Brandon, Jim, Barry. Yeah, it is summertime. You're right. That's so cute that you talk about me a lot, so your wife's mad. So cute. I love trading. I have an extreme passion for this. I have been doing it for several years, and I wake up every day as if it's my first day on the job. I love it because you can't learn it all. In my prior life, I worked in healthcare. I managed physician practices, and I did that for 20 years. And I own my own business. I manage over 200 physicians and hundreds of employees. But you could learn everything there was to know about nephrology coding, about interventional nephrology coding and billing. Literally, there's a book, and once you study it and you learn that book, you're done. It's finite. There is no end in sight. I literally learn something every day, and it is something that I plan to take into my golden years, which are far away. I'm not even close to that, but I just love this because we are constantly learning. So if you don't know something, if you have a trade go against you, just know that there's always tips and tricks we can learn. So tomorrow we can be better. And that's our goal, is through this whole process, is just to get better every single day. I know just from doing the pregame show for a few months now, every day I see that my trading's improving because I'm intensifying my morning prep. And what I tell you, I have to really study and get behind. I don't want to tell you anything that's half-baked or half-cocked. So it's improving my trading. So I'm trying to help y'all, and it's helping me while I'm helping y'all. How about that? Isn't that cool? Okay, it's 6:30. Let's get started. Oh, hey Dana B. Hey Live Trade Die. If you hate it, back off. Just absolutely back off a lot. Journal everything. There are some days where it broke my heart. It's kind of like having a boyfriend that you love so much and they break your heart. That's how I liken it. So it's not that I love them any less. They just keep breaking my heart. So trading has definitely broken my heart. And trading is a reflection of what's not going right in our life. Actually, I had this typed up. So let's talk about that. Market is a mirror. Reflects back to you what is not working in your life. Discipline, self-doubt, self-sabotage. You have to work on yourself in order to be a good trader. And it is the only profession that I have ever experienced or seen with my years and years of travel and meeting thousands of people. This is the only profession that you must get your life in order to trade well. And I love it for that. Discipline, self-doubt, self-sabotage, all of that has to get in order, or it will reflect in your trading whatever's not working in your life. And it's pretty crazy. So live, trade, die. There may be something you need to work on in your life. And like discipline when it comes to food for me, exercise for me, all of those things, I have to keep those in check because it is a reflection. I have to be disciplined in the market. If I am not true to myself and I lie to myself, then I will also not have discipline in trading. That didn't sound right, but let me give you an example of what I mean. Like if I say that my stop is at 43.75 and I don't honor that, if I lie to myself, who else would I lie to? You know, I'm numero uno, number one in my life. I've got to take care of me. So I can't lie to myself. I have to be completely honest and adhere to all rules when it comes to eating, exercise, trading, discipline. And you'll find in trading that happens a lot. So I guess I went all over the board there, live, trade, die. But what I would say is back off a little bit and then let's focus on the highest quality setups, quality over quantity, wait for your triggers. And we need to start building your self-confidence back up in trading, build your confidence back up. And the only way to do that is to get some wins under your belt. And they're not easy to come by. You can be a profitable trader and have a 60% win rate overall, but your wins got to be a little bit bigger than your gains. So overall, let's get you some wins under your belt, and then you will come back around to having a more positive outlook on trading. I don't know that you probably dislike trading, you just have lost your optimism. All right, if you're interested in my trade setup, it's here. Yellow and purple is the 50 and 200 MA. Green and red is the 8 and 21 EMA. If you told me right now, Lori, you have to change this to the 100 MA and the, let's make something up, 300 MA. Okay. Green and red, you must change it to the 14 and the 28. Okay. I can still trade with that. I need a benchmark. I have deemed these four as ones that work for me, and I've found to be the most sensitive for algorithms and how price responds at those levels. But I can trade using any EMA. If you tell me right now, you must use the 39 EMA and that's it, I could do it. I absolutely could do it. Price above bullish, price below bearish. Yeah, it can be that simple. CM Ultimate RSI multi-time frame. I use that because I like the pretty colors. You can plot multiple time frame RSI on this one panel or pane, P-A-N-E. Red is overbought, green is oversold, and then the TTM Squeeze Thinkorswim default. I like to use that because I'm an options trader and I'm constantly looking for volatility build. Let's clear this off and let's get you some levels for ES. We are up at all-time high. Let's see. All-time high 438450. We are $1.50 from that. If price were to pull back here, this would be a very logical area for price to pull back because we are at resistance. And I'm doing a mentoring class on Saturday, and it's one of my trade setups that I teach to people who are really, really struggling, is start with the simplest of setups, in my opinion, is look for those lower highs in a double top situation or higher lows in a double bottom situation. And we're in that situation right now with ES 438450. And remember, ES is pure meaning that we don't have to adjust for dividends. We don't have to worry, is it apples to apples? This is straight up apples to apples. And I would even give it a few dollars over 438450. And in TCG, Dan has taught us gap ups are for selling and gap downs are typically for buying. Not always, not 100% rule of thumb, but it's a nice rule of thumb to keep in the back of your mind. So our hourly RSI is up at 70. So we have had a beautiful run. Hourly price is holding these EMAs. I like that, MJ Trader. Sorry, I just got distracted. That's cute. We are holding the hourly EMAs. If we get a candle close below the hourly EMAs, that is a change in character from which we open. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. Okay, from where we opened Monday, we have held the hourly EMAs all week. So I'm going to say that again. From where we opened, we've had candle closes above. A candle close, which I got this question yesterday and I didn't realize I wasn't being clear. Sometimes we just need a reminder. So if this is a candle and you have a little, that's going to be ugly, a wick here and a wick here, in order for it to close above, we need the whole body. Do you see that? The whole body above the EMA. If I'm looking to short price and I'm looking for candle closes below, yesterday I believe it was the 5-minute on CCL, I'm looking for the entire body to stay underneath that. But even if the body is halfway on the EMA like this, that's not a candle close above or below. So if we are doing this in an uptrend, here's your EMA, and the candle closes on the EMA, that is not a candle close below. That doesn't meet my criteria. So this could be an hourly bull flag. ES looks totally poised to take out the all-time high. However, if we get up to that level, and on the 5-minute, we get a 5-minute lower high. So we get that higher high, higher low, lower high, roll over. Put your stop above that all-time high. It could be a nice short opportunity today. I will be watching market internals to tell me if I'm on the right side of the trade. I don't want to run in front of these bulls and get bulldozed over. However, I also don't want to be silly up here either. If I don't have a SPY bull trade on, I don't know that up here is the most logical place to put one on. So let me go back to the candle close concept. If we get a candle close below the 8 and 21, that's ugly. Draw one good candle, then you're stuck on it. So if we get one good body candle close below the hourly EMAs on ES today, that is a change in character. So it may be too much to ask in 6.5 hours of trading. We may have to wait till next week to get that trade. But the first hourly candle close below the EMAs may be a good opportunity to go short and stay short until the consolidation is over with. We've been bouncing all week. Okay, so this morning we have IWM bouncing the hardest. It's still hecka ugly. I know children listen, so I don't want to curse, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's very ugly. We are at the 50% retrace. We have this 50 MA overhead, 50% retrace at 221340. RTY IWM is still the logical short for me, and this sure does look like a rising wedge, not even a nice rising wedge. So RTY short is my queen of the hill trade again today, top of the list for me. YM, we're getting an upper wick on this hourly candle. 35,000 is the line in the sand for the Dow. So, but you see how it's a little bit more balanced, meaning it went sideways and then it's popping up compared to ES, which has been melting up all week. NASDAQ melting up all week. NASDAQ had Twitter, Snap, wonderful earnings yesterday. Lots of upgrades on the big names today. So I wouldn't go short NASDAQ. So I would go short RTY as my number one short idea, and then ES number 2. But we got to wait for the market to open, and we got to see how market internals are, who's driving the bus, and how fast they're driving it. Tick cumulative tells me that. It gives me a lot of insight. Okay, then we talked about YM. NASDAQ, your supports, here they are. YM, your supports 34741, 34591, 34557. I believe Honeywell had a beat. That's a big Dow player. So nothing untoward in any of these 4 names as far as earnings. The only really bad earnings, I don't think I have this on my list, is Sam. Sam got beat pretty hard. I've already bottom fished it this morning, but Really, really beat up. They said the hard seltzers, Truly, I'm not surprised, those things taste terrible. But Truly and hard seltzer, they overestimated the demand for the summer. So I bottom fished to 756.86 and I got a good bounce after hours. I flipped it for a few dollars, but we've now broken that. So below that, our next, it's going to be psychological. $700 is your next support. So Sam's pretty beat up. We got a lot of beat up names today, but overall, a lot of meaning Chinese education and Sam, which Sam is not heavily ETF based. So overall earnings, if anything, should give the market a lift. Gold is super weak. We came up, we got this higher high, and then we pulled down and we broke this key support. So gold bears will be looking to reposition themselves up here. Your key resistance 1810 and key support 1789. Now, odds favor with the size of this bounce that we EQ out the rest of the day. Do you see how that's not a good trade for us? We have this extreme move, V-shape up to the middle of that. Well, let's see how far we did. Get up. 1 second. Delete. Okay, we're at the 0.618 retracement for gold. Actually, it's getting a little boom shakalaka move on. So 1806 is your next fib resistance, but this is a no trade for me. I don't have a trade here. It's just in the middle. It's in purgatory. CL, I like the trade. Dan mentioned the oil short over in commodities, and I really like that trade idea. I think it's on the 4 hour. Yep, 4 hour, 200 MA right overhead. You see how it's rejecting there several times. 7204 is that key resistance. We got over it by a few pennies, 7211. I have my stop up around 7220. I am shorting QM right now. I have few contracts. QM is a mini CL contract. CL is the tick value. Tick just means like the cent. So each cent that CL moves, it's worth so many dollars. So it can move pretty fast on you. So, and I like that this is a potential head and shoulders on the 15-minute for oil short. So I'm in QM short and I have about a $72 average. So I am in oil short and I will be looking short today. We have the rig count around 10:30 Central, I think, but that typically doesn't impact price heavily. So when you're trading commodities, you always have to know what are the events that could happen and impact price. So with Bitcoin here, we have a 15-minute EQ, 32479, 32489 are your resistances, your support, 32253, 3227. If you were here yesterday, we talked about these lessons that we could learn over here. These hourly bar bear breaks that got no follow through and how that was pretty bullish tell. And then we popped into the end of the day. It was just a nice, it's really nice. I added that to my toolkit this week. I honestly added it. So I can listen to Dan give lessons. I can watch a chart and watch the chart give me a lesson, but I have to constantly look at other charts and say, okay, study that. Can you find that in another chart? It's easy. It's not easy, but it's easier when Dan points it out on a chart. You're like, oh, I see it. Now go to another chart and find another chart with that same example or lesson, and then it'll get imprinted on your brain. And Bitcoin did it for me. He was explaining it on another chart. Was it Nat Gas had a bear break, and then it had such few bear breaks and they were weak, and it showed him that it was bullish. Well, Bitcoin, this was the chart I found. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like what Dan was saying. All right, man, I beat that horse. That horse is dead. Resistance 2073, 2094, support 2041, 1991, and 1948. So overall, let me get my bearings. This could be a 4-hour bull flag. The ideal bull flag does not have upper wicks of bears selling into it. We have mainly lower wicks is what we want to look for. We don't really have that, but it still has the psychology there. Declining bear volume, holding the EMAs, not giving more than a third of the pullback. So pretty bullish on crypto. Nice overnight move. Okay, I know you're all here for Apple, aren't you? When would I have to place trade? So for the swing report, we have conservative trade zones. So this is the chart that's up. So this is not an actual swing trade, but we give conservative zones. And if price dips into that conservative zone, it's a nice area to add that potential idea and put your stop right below that conservative zone. now with the swing report, if this were a swing name and it's up here way above the conservative zone, you can add up here, but now your stop is way down here. So I tell people with smaller accounts to wait for those conservative zones so you can have a stop nearby. So that's how you can use the swing report. And the swing report gives names every week that are set up bullishly, and we could do shorts in the future. That's not ruled out. But it's 42-page document. We have 35 pages and 3 videos, usually total is about 30 minutes of videos where I go over overall market wins, what's going on with rotation, the trade opportunities, and I go over the names for the past month. So it's a lot of data beyond just giving you individual names. I try to give you the lay of the land for the upcoming week. So Swing Report has lots of great things. Okay, back to Apple. I only have 4 minutes technically, and I've got all these names to go through. So with Apple, if I'm looking at it on the daily, we're having a real bullish morning. What I don't want to happen with a lotto is for it to just melt up a little bit and then dribble down, because we're in this large range. $9 is a large range for Apple. So yeah, almost 6%. So y'all see how this set up last Friday. Here we were in Apple puts because we were looking for that double top fish, and then NASDAQ 4-hour was coming into the EMAs. So we had a perfect setup with, not perfect, but an ideal setup with NQ looking for a 4-hour lower high while top fishing a double top for Apple. Well, this morning we're in a little bit of purgatory. But the only way I could responsibly look at Apple is a short of 148.20, and I would even go up to like 148.30. So if we were to bounce into that area and market internals are pointing down, I would be looking for an Apple short. And I would say I'd be looking for the 146 area just for it to come back and touch these 4-hour EMAs. So visually, that's what I see daily. We could get caught within this range right in the middle and then just go sideways. So with Apple, I don't see a clear direction that could create velocity. We're looking for that snowball. So if we're looking for a short, we're waiting for that snowball effect where it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill. And that's how those lottos and puts really gain value, is when we get some velocity behind the move on a Friday. Apple may not be that trade setup for us. Amazon is negating this daily bear flag. Amazon got some upgrades this morning. On the hourly, we could have a bull flag. We are testing this 3650 in pre-market. We're testing it. Nice bull volume yesterday. Again, this is getting into an area where we could be in no man's land, because we have retraced this big move and now we're up toward the upper end. So if the market were to start tanking and we approach, or tanking or getting bearish, and we're approaching 3,700, it could be a good bear play. But at open, I don't know that we're going to be in a zone for a trade on Amazon. AXP, I'm getting to something, y'all. I'm building up to something. AXP, beautiful bull beat. Freaking crushed it. Amazing. So AXP, they did great on earnings. Here's the problem with pre-market earnings. So I hope this makes sense. So when you have earnings pre-market versus after-market, if they would have beat yesterday, then we wake up this morning and we have 5 upgrades, then we got a double whammy on news, a double bullish whammy. So now we had earnings this morning, so we have no upgrades because it just happened. So that's a problem with pre-market earnings, is sometimes you need that extra lift that those upgrades and price target changes can give you. AXP doesn't have that, but I like AXP to the bullish side on a pullback, and you may want to add it to your 5-minute back burner trade. mRNA, okay, so I was looking at this tightening range and it looks like the bulls are deciding to take off above this 329.60. 342.51 will be a top fish level. If we could get near that level, that could be a great opportunity for a bearish trade on mRNA. Be careful with this name. It moves pretty dang fast. IWM, y'all see this hourly chart, this rising wedge. I don't like IWM. Queen of the hill trade, bearish for me. 200 MA overhead, looking for it to roll over if market internals tell me that that's the trade today. If market internals are strong, this could be a weak chart setup. What does that mean? That means you just don't go long IWM. So even if the market is strong, I can't go long IWM, but I won't short it. I hope that makes sense. So I'm using market correlations to tell me the direction to look, and I'm looking for the names that match up to that the best. Snap. Okay, folks, I think these are the queen of the mountain. Snap is it. They killed earnings. We are moving above the all-time high, which I like a lot. We got to clear the 73.59. We have this squeeze, and they murdered earnings. They got a ton of upgrades. Now, how am I going to trade this? It is going to be, I'm going to be looking for volume. So I haven't used monkey butts in a while, so I'm just going to use it right now. So I typically tell you when a name is flying, like someone asked me about Neuro the other day, and I'm like, you just smile and wave because you missed it. And if you're trying to get in that name up here, it's kind of like looking from the ground up at monkey butts. Like you may be the monkey butt. Don't be crazy. But on this name, this is some serious Momo. And so I've had people tell me this week, well, I waited for the back burner trade and it never came. Well, you missed CMG because you were waiting for it. So CMG was my trade of the week. They had great earnings. And look at this volume. That told me, get in, buckle up, shut up, sit down. Just get in, put on your seatbelt, and shut up. That's what it told me to do. Now, yesterday, what was our name? Crocs. Didn't tell me nothing. I posted it in the room. Hey, y'all, this was a huge setup for me. They killed earnings. But volume told me this was pitiful. I lost $5 on Crocs yesterday. I'm like, forget it. You can have it. And then during the midday show, someone asked me about it. I think it was Phil. And he had a great call out. Hey, what do you think about buying it here? I'm like, I can't touch it because this was my trade setup. My trade setup was bullish earnings. And I was looking for something like a gap and go, like CMG, instead of a gap and crap. That's a gap and crap. If your kids are listening, tell them that's a terrible word. So with Snap, I'm looking for a gap and go. If it gap and craps and it provides another end of day trade, you're on your own. That's not the trade I'm looking for. I'm looking for a gap and go, and I'm looking for the 5-minute volume to tell me, look at this squeeze going on. And the squeeze counts in pre-market. Gosh, I'm running out of time. It counts in pre-market when there's volume involved, and we've got volume. So I am all about this trade. What would be a target? 78.13 above this 73.71 would be 78.13. Let's see if we can get some Momo going and have a fun Friday. So if Snap pulls back just a little bit, it would even be better. Come on, pull back a little bit, then watch that bull volume spike, and I'm in like Flynn. Twitter. Now we're going to end up, this is a premium burn situation. We had this big pop and drop. So this thing could stay within this range of low of 68.51 and high of 76.70 all week long. Oh, and I'm Chart Gal Lori. I forgot to introduce myself. UNH. I came across this name because I was looking at Peloton and UNH. They had a deal earlier this week. Look at these daily inside bars. King of the Hill. Nice tight range on this $400 name. Resistance 416.83, support 413.73. This is so tight you can buy a break. What I mean is I have a lot of people ask me on an EQ, how do you position yourself within it? I like to position myself within it because I'm an options trader. Once the breakout happens, I don't want to be buying it. However, when you have something this super tight, in my opinion, you can buy a break and have decent odds of success over the long run. So United Healthcare super tight. QQQ, we're coming up on this 365.49 resistance. I don't know that I'm going to short the biggest bully on the playground. SPY, all-time high 437.92, and we're hitting 438 in pre-market. 438 becomes the level. I am sorry I talked so long I didn't get to your tickers today. Okay, it could gap and crap. And that's okay by me. I am going to make my money on one of these tickers today. One of them. Here you go. Actually, JD, I'm going to change to Twitter. So I have Tesla, Snap, Google, CCL. I'm looking short. And this is just a continued play from several days ago. And IWM short and oil short. That's what I'll be watching today. So let's see. A gap and slap. Yeah. All right. What market internals do I look at? I look at tick. That's my favorite. So let's just do tick real quick. And then Lamont's going to go live, and let's go listen to him. I watch tick on the 5-minute. And if we have sustained ticks over 600, I ain't going short nothing. You hear me? Nothing, honey. If we have sustained ticks below 600, this is when you get bearish and stay bearish. These are the times where you get bullish and stay bullish over here. So I watch tick, and I'm watching these sustained ticks. I'm looking for above 600 to stay bullish, below 600 stay bearish, because I'm looking for trend days. The most money can be made from trend days. When you have a day where it just trends up and it stays up, or trends down and stays down, those are the days for day traders to make the most money. Trend days. When we go sideways, that's not chopping. Sideways is a direction, and if it's just going sideways, that just means the bears and bulls are battling out, and I ain't gonna get black eyes trying to stand in between them. I'm gonna step on the sideline because I'm a lover, not a fighter, and wait for them to go up. Then I'll be a bull. Down, I'm just gonna join the winning team. How about that? Tesla short. Yeah, Tesla got good news yesterday, and then they really gave it all back. We're still within a daily EQ. Nothing's changed. Daily EQ 621.29 is that new higher low. So we have this daily EQ, our new lower high, 664.86. All right, that's it for me. TCGers, I'll see you in the room. Oh, Chinese education names got murdered, so please be careful with those names. EDU, and just totally got murdered. Look at that. They're down 65%. EDU, TAL, GOTU, and all China names have a bearish overhang, so be careful. I almost forgot to tell you that. All right, love you all. TGIF.